Australia finally terminates university deals with China, but this has been happening for years. So why now? Well, I'm Jay Fallon, and this is the Slippery Slope podcast.
Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, let's get straight into it. Australia has just terminated two joint ventures between Australian and Chinese universities. One involving the Australian National University and Shandong University, and another involving the University of Queensland. Foreign Minister Penny Wong has declared the ANU Shandong deal invalid and unenforceable, and ANU has already said it will comply. On paper, this looks like a strong national security stance. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't new, this isn't sudden, and it certainly isn't decisive leadership. And if you've been watching my podcast at all for the last few years, you know I've talked a lot about leadership, what leadership is, and comparing what we now class as leadership within our government, within our bureaucratic system, and what I believe is actually just management. We've just got to, we're a nation just full of managers. That's all we are. There's no real leadership within our government, especially right now. The CCP's influence in Australian universities, it's not a new discovery. For more than a decade, Australia has known, not suspected, but known that the Chinese Communist Party has been infiltrating our universities and educational institutions. So we've had CCP aligned student groups monitoring and intimidating Chinese students who speak out. We've got documented cases of Chinese students in Australia being threatened for supporting Hong Kong. CCP agents living and working in Australia, influencing student bodies and political officers. Confucius institutes shaping curriculum, censoring discussion, and controlling cultural narratives. ASIO warnings about foreign interference operations targeting politicians, donors, and institutions. None of this was hidden, and none of this was subtle. None of this was a surprise. The Australian government has been fully aware of these issues for years, and yet they have chosen consistently to do nothing. So you have to ask yourself, why act now? Why suddenly terminate these partnerships? Because the political cost of ignoring the CCP interference has finally become too high. Because public awareness has grown. Because the CCP's behavior can no longer be brushed aside with diplomatic language or economic excuses. This is not leadership, it's damage control, it's management. The government is reacting to a crisis it allowed to grow unchecked. So the real problem, it's institutional cowardice. Australia's political class has spent years downplaying CCP interference, protecting university revenue streams. This is all about the money. You just have to trace the money back. They are making money. That's why they've been protecting these university revenue streams. Also about prioritizing international student dollars over national security. It's also about ignoring intelligence briefings, pretending foreign influence was a fringe concern. And now, when the consequences are undeniable, they want credit for taking action. Finally, this is the slippery slope we've been warning about. I've been warning about. When leaders ignore danger long enough, they normalize it. They allow foreign powers to embed themselves in our institutions, and they sacrifice sovereignty for convenience. And then when they finally act, they pretend they saw the danger all along. The thing is, I believe they did see the danger all along. They chose not to react. They chose not to react. So they've finally done it, and now they want a little pat on the back for doing it. You know, Proverbs 29:25, it warns that the fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. The fear of man will prove to be a snare. For years, Australia feared Beijing more than it feared the consequences of compromise. It feared economic retaliation more than it feared losing control of its own institutions. It feared diplomatic discomfort more than it feared foreign infiltration. And that fear became a snare. So let's just think about where this is going to go next. Terminating two university partnerships is not a solution. It's it's merely a symbolic gesture. The CCP's influence in Australia extends far beyond academia. It extends into politics, business, technology, infrastructure, community organisations. So, unless the government is willing to confront the full scope of the problem, not just the parts that make headlines, this is just another attempt to look proactive while avoiding accountability, avoiding true accountability, while they will never hold themselves accountable. Australia didn't wake up. Australia's just hit the bottom of the slope and is now pretending it saw the danger all along. But as always, this is just my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon, and thanks for listening to the Slippery Slope podcast.
They just fuel a desire that will take me